Well, good morning. Uh, this morning I'm just going to rant a little bit. Um, I've always tried to be transparent with you on this channel about my experience in the car business. And this morning, uh, I've just got some things that I'm kind of frustrated about. Overall, I love the car business. I mean, I've been in the car business, I've stated many times that all my life. It's all I really know. I've ventured off into a few other things, but I always come back to the car business. And so I remember a few years ago, and through all these videos, I've always tried to get you to stay small. I get a lot of people that inquire about floor plans and things of that nature and growing bigger and leaving the um, job to go full time in the car business. And, that's great. Of course, I've been full time in the car business for a while. But there's something that I need all of you to understand. The old saying goes, "Be careful what you wish for," and that's true in anything. And I guess what I'm trying to state is when I was buying just a few cars, I mean, selling 8 to 10 cars a month, and no pressure. I had a ball. It was absolute. And I look back on it, and it was absolute great. Now we're into a situation to where that due to the overhead and the things that we have, now we're in a situation to where we need to sell 20, 30 cars a month. Um, I'm not having that great of a time, folks. And I don't know how to put it any other way. And I'm trying to get back, and now Shane is seeing the light with me. We had a ball when we were operating out of our pocket. Everything that we sold went back into our pocket. And that's one thing that I want to give you an example about. Just happened last week, and it's really bothered me. Shane did really worked hard. He got this floor plan and started buying later model cars. And at first he was enjoying it, uh, making good money. But I've always said that I'd rather buy a $1,000 or $2,000 car and make $1,000 than I had buy a $10,000 car or $20,000 car to make $1,000. I want you to understand, and I've said it so many times before, how much you invest in an automobile has very little to do with the profit that you make off that automobile. A perfect example, we are back to selling last week. We sell the low hanging fruit, the cars that we can retail out for under $5,000, and most of the time it's under $3,000. Those cars are your bread and butter. This happens so much. We had a 2013 Lexus convertible, IS 250. A beautiful car. Shane had been driving this car around. He bought it at the auction, which I did not agree with. We paid $13,000 for the car. Oh, I'll make $2,000. Okay. So he drove it all summer long. It's into the fall now. The fact that the top goes back makes very little difference to people in the fall and winter months. So we have the car. He was going to run it back did run it back through the auction. It got no bids. Okay. It's a very nice car. Nothing wrong with the car at all. No bids. So the other day, the floor plan came due on this car. It had a $3,500 balance that had to be applied to the principal. Okay? In other words, when you're floor planning a car, if that car does not sell within its 60-day floor plan, you've got to write down the balance of that car. So in $13,000, to write that balance down was 20% or 25%. It was $3,600 that car had to be applied to the principal of that car. And that just absolutely frustrated the hell out of me, because we had sold cheaper cars last week that made good profits. I mean, $1,000 cars that sold for $2,000 cars. We sold all those quickly. That profit had to go back to the balance of the cars we had not sold on the floor plan. Now, all that means is we're getting equity in those cars. I don't want equity in those cars. I want 100% equity out of my cars. So when I'm selling a car that I paid $1,000 for, and they are getting harder to find at the auction, that's the first thing I want you to know. They're getting harder to find $1,000, $1,200 cars, especially decent cars. But I did buy some last week. I bought about 5 of them. I've already sold, I think, 2 of them. The others I have deals working on, and they're really, really good profits. When I'm buying a car after fees and everything, and I'm paying $800 for it, I'm retailing it for $2,000. You know, I'm averaging $1,000 to $1,200 profit on that car, opposed to a 2013 car that I'm losing $3,500 on. So I'm not a happy camper this morning, okay? Now, not to say that the majority of the cars that we have bought and applied that floor plan to have not made money. They have made money, but no more money than I would have made anyway by buying cheaper cars. And I've paid those floor plan fees. So, you know, I preach on this, and I have to be transparent with you. I'm going to be transparent with you. I was happier when I was operating out of my pocket, when I sold my $1,000 car that I paid cash for, and I sold it for $2,000. I put my $1,000 back in my pocket to reinvest. I don't like putting this money back in the floor plan companies. Now, another thing that I really want to vent on this. We elected to apply $50 to every car that we bought to an escrow account, to that floor plan. Okay, so we have purchased about, I guess, almost 200 cars using that floor plan. So we've got an escrow account built up in that floor plan right now of about $12,000. Okay. Now I want you to understand this. I don't know what this escrow means. All I know is we can't use it. We can't pull it out. We can't use it. It's for their protection at the floor plan company. In the meantime, we're still having to stroke checks and writing it down to keep them from having to touch our escrow account. So I'm not happy with this arrangement. I'm totally not happy with this arrangement. And Shane has agreed with me. We're going back to the basics. We're going back to the cheaper cars. We're going to stay with the cheaper cars. We do not floor plan cheaper cars. We're still operating with the cash that we have on cheaper cars. The floor plan is eating our lunch on the more expensive cars. So we're done with that, okay? Be advised, you will be too, because this business is not fun when you look up and you see your overhead now has gone from literally virtually nothing to $3,000 and $4,000, $5,000 a month just in interest. Okay? Hey, I'm not that big a guy. I don't think like that. I can't help but look at how much money that we are absolutely pissing away that we didn't have to. So my lesson to you, For those of you that have inquired about these floor plans, quitting your job, going bigger, go ahead, create the problem, because that's what you will do. When you look up and you have to stroke a check back to a floor plan company because the car you bought to drive around and look great in, or to make your lot look great in, your ego has just cost you a major amount of money. You can tell by looking at me, my ego is not super big. Neither is my wallet. My wallet is not big enough to float an ego for myself that does not exist. I don't want these damned expensive cars. I don't care about looking good. I care about staying in business, sleeping at night with peace, not waking up thinking, okay, this money's got to go here, this money's got to go there. So the best opportunity, Shane now has taken an attraction into the mortgage business. And I'm excited about that. I'm really totally excited about that. Not that we're leaving the car business. No way that's going to happen. But I want him to have an avenue, and I'm glad to see him taking an avenue to where his entire focus is not, I've got to buy and sell in order to pay the bills. Okay, buying and selling cars is absolutely a blast. Okay, when you're having a blast doing it. But if you go out here and you buy these $1 million homes, and you buy these fancy boats, and you buy these fancy cars, and you create all this thing going on in your life because you have floor plans, because you have credit availability, you are fucking up. That's the best way I can put it. Don't do it. Stay small. Have fun. Do it with the passion. If you don't do it with the passion, don't do it at all. Please subscribe to this channel. I look forward to talking to you soon and letting you know how this is coming out. But floor plan is out the window. Going out the window, period. Thanks so much.